Hello, I'm Arslan. Let's begin. Some love stories don't end with a wedding. Some don't even end with a goodbye. Some just end quietly, in a drawer, in an old coat pocket, in a letter that was never sent. This is one of those stories. Her name was Claire. His name was Daniel. They met the way most real things happen, by accident. A coffee shop, a rainy Tuesday, and one umbrella between two strangers
who didn't want
to share it,
but did anyway.
Claire always said Daniel had kind eyes, the kind that made you feel like you were the only person in a crowded room. Daniel never had a name for what he loved about her. He just knew that every room felt a little warmer when she walked into it. For 3 years, they built a life out of small things. Sunday pancakes, handwritten notes, hidden in jacket pockets, late-night phone calls that turned into early mornings. It wasn't a fairy tale. It was better. It was real. Then, like it does for so many of us, life got complicated. Daniel got a job offer, the kind you don't turn down, 3,000 miles away, in New York. A new beginning, they told themselves. We'll make it work, Claire whispered the night before he left, her voice steady, even as her hands weren't. They tried. God, they tried. Phone calls at midnight, video chats that froze at the worst moments, flights that got canceled, time zones that never seemed to agree, with two hearts trying to stay in sync. Slowly, the way distance always does it, the calls got shorter. The I love yous got quieter, not because the love was gone, but because loving someone from 3,000 miles away is one of the hardest things a heart can do. One night, Claire sat down and wrote Daniel a letter. Not a text, not an email, an actual letter, the kind with ink that smudges when you write too fast because your hands are shaking. She told him everything. How she still slept on her side of the bed, even though he wasn't there. How she still bought his favorite cereal, even though no one ate it. How some love doesn't fade. It just gets quiet, waiting for someone to speak first. She sealed the envelope. She wrote his address. And then she never sent it. Maybe she was scared. Maybe she thought it was too late. Maybe some part of her believed that if she never sent it, the love inside it would stay safe forever, untouched by an answer she wasn't ready to hear. The letter sat in a drawer for 2 years. Life moved on, the way it stubbornly insists on doing. Claire changed apartments, changed jobs, changed a little, the way we all do when time gets its hands on us. But some things
don't change.
She still kept that letter, still knew exactly which drawer it was in, still, on certain quiet nights, took it out and held it, never opening it, just holding it, like holding on to the last piece of a feeling she wasn't ready to let go. Daniel, 3,000 miles away, was doing something strangely similar. He kept an old photograph in his wallet, worn soft at the edges from being touched too many times. He never talked about her, but he never stopped thinking about her either. That's the strange thing about real love. It doesn't announce itself. It just stays quiet, patient, waiting. Then, one ordinary Tuesday, because the important days always disguise themselves as ordinary ones, Claire's phone buzzed. A name she hadn't seen in 2 years lit up the screen. Daniel. Her heart did something it hadn't done in a long time. It remembered how to hope. They talked carefully at first, like two people relearning a language they used to be fluent in. Then slowly, the years fell away, and it was just them again, Claire and Daniel, laughing at nothing, the way they always had. He was coming back, not for a visit, for good. They met at The same coffee shop, where it all began. Same rainy Tuesday energy. Even though it was a Thursday in June, and this time, Claire brought the letter. Her hands shook, just like the night she wrote it, as she placed it on the table between them. I never sent this,
she said.
I think I was scared that if I did, and you didn't feel the same way anymore, I'd lose the last piece of us I had left.
Daniel didn't say
anything at first. He just opened it, and as he read every word, she'd been too afraid to say out loud. Something in his face broke open, soft and quiet, like a held breath, finally released. I kept a photo
of you in my wallet
for 2 years,
he said.
I guess we were both scared of the same thing. Sometimes the people we love most aren't lost. They're just waiting for us to be brave enough to speak first. Claire and Daniel didn't get a perfect ending. They got something better. A real one. Messy, honest, and rebuilt from the ground up by 2 people who finally stopped being afraid of what the truth might cost them. Because that's the thing about real love. It doesn't need perfect timing. It just needs one person brave enough to finally send the letter. If this story touched you, if it reminded you of someone, maybe it's time to send your own letter, whatever that looks like for you. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you ever loved someone from a distance? And if you enjoyed this story, hit subscribe, because we've got a lot more hearts
to break
and heal together.